Okay, today we're going to learn how to trim your pet's nails. This is more specifically directed to dogs, but we're going to have a cat to practice on. So, when you look at your pet's paw, the first thing you're going to see, besides the foot, are the toenails. And if you're lucky enough to have a dog that has clear toenails, you'll be able to see the pink fleshy portion of the nail, which is called the quick. And that is where the nerves and the blood vessels come through. The outer portion of the nail is just keratin, what your fingernails and your hair is made of. It's just dead tissue. So when your dog starts walking through the house and you start hearing his nails clicking on the floor, you know it's time to trim their nails. So what you would do is trim the nail at a slight angle. Make sure that you're away from the quick. So the red line here, you can see that it's too close to the quick, not necessarily on the quick, but it's like you cutting your fingernail too short. It gets tender, and it can open up the foot for infection. You also don't want to cut at too much of an angle. So you can see here, this one is a trimmed nail, so you should have a little bit protecting the quick. And here's another line where it'd be okay to cut. So there are two kinds of trimmers. The first kind being the scissor type. These are better for like cats if you have, or like a really small dog. You just squeeze and it comes from the sides. There's also like a guillotine style where you hold like this and it's a circle and the guillotine slices up. So what you want to do, this is a dog. So you'll probably need a friend depending on how friendly your dog is. I have 3 dogs, 2 of them are fine, 1 of them you cannot touch her feet at all. So have someone hold the leash with your dog, ask your dog to sit and ask for their paw. So once they give you their paw, assuming that they aren't going to pull their paw away like my dog, you can take it and line up and just snip the toenails. You may want to have treats available and give them a treat in between so that they're more paying attention to the treat than they are on the actual pressure on their feet. But if you do it correctly, it's not painful for them. It's actually helpful for them. Dogs like labs and golden retrievers can actually have their gait affected when their toenails get too long, so their feet kind of curve and it's hard for them to walk. So and then once you're done trimming, if my dogs tend to get kind of like sharp edges on their toenails, you can take a Dremel, or what they call a Petit-Paws, which is basically a Dremel it's battery powered to do their toenails, and you would just Dremel the outside edge of the toenail, and that way any sharp edges are eliminated. And sometimes if your dog doesn't like getting its nails actually clipped, you can actually Dremel it down instead of clipping it. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you some anatomy questions, guys. Okay, the white portion of the nail, what is that called?
Keratin.
Alright. And the pink portion?
The quick.
Quick. Alright. So, again, you're going to cut away from the quick and not at too steep of an angle. So this one is too close. This one, that would obviously make them bleed. And this one is going to be prone to infection. So that is how you trim your dog's nails.
So is that just basically like a electric file kind of sort of?
Yeah,
like a nail
it's
buzzer?
just well, Ben, I don't know about you, but if anybody's ever had their nails done at a salon and you got acrylics put on, that's the same thing that they just sand your nails down with. It's basically just rotating sandpaper.
Okay.
So, think of it as a little miniature belt sander.
There you go.
Anything like that.
For my terms.
You done?
All right.
Any questions?
No questions.
Good job.